The views or opinions expressed on this show are solely their own and do not necessarily represent the views or opinions of Zonse Live.
Welcome to another episode of Something Radio. My name is Paige. My co-host, TJ, aka Tie Frequency. We're back in our normal setting, and we've got a very special guest in the building today. A man that we feel like has got a lot to say. And you know,
I feel like he always has a lot to say.
Yeah.
You know?
And he owes us a ton of explanations.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I feel like, you know what we should have done? We should have gone on Twitter or whatever, or Facebook, and just ask people to ask him the questions.
Yeah.
And then bring the questions here. That would have been wild.
I think let's stick to welcoming each other this show. I don't think that's a good welcome.
Welcome to the show, man.
No, thanks, man.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm good.
Rested?
Yeah. No, well rested. Trying to see what's next.
Nice.
See what rest of the year really is waiting on us.
The remaining part of the year.
Yeah.
I went to Chikweba. All right. So for those who don't really know, because you're always in the background.
Yeah.
Could you please tell the people who you are and what you do?
Oh man. So I'm Prince Chikweba. I'm a media consultant. I'm an events manager and artist liaison. So I do artist management in that regard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who are some of the artists that you...
I knew that. Yeah. You've been waiting to say this, right?
I warned you. Who are some?
No, man. I mean, it's funny. I always get this question, and it's always funny how when I say it, it sounds so it becomes I'm trying to make it about myself.
Yeah.
But ideally for me, it's just it's always important, I think, for me, I don't know how other people see it, that if I'm representing my clients, predominantly we're doing a lot of background work.
Yeah.
And it's not about us.
Yeah.
It's about the brand we're trying to build. And no one cares about the manager at Coca-Cola. You just care about how the bottle looks, how they sell it, how they make it.
Right.
So knowing names about who is behind and who this guy and whatnot, I get it. We want to show people that this is what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it also compromises the brand that you're trying to protect or create or build. So I'm always running away. I'm always comfortable telling people who I worked with, not who I'm working with.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
So now I can tell you who I was working with.
But not who you're
Yeah, because it's always easy for me to do it like that. So, I mean, I think my first artist to manage was actually 2011. It's crazy. 2012. It's crazy because it was supposed to be Crazy G.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, we just but we didn't really make it formal properly. And then I got to work with Jules and Josh. And then afterwards, I think post 2014, 2015, Theo Thompson up until 2019, where he moved to somewhere outside here. And then between that time as well, up until 2018, end of 18, I was managing Kabutunya Mhango. And then, just a couple of people around Sand, up until 2018 as well. So now we have a couple of people that we're still working with.
You speak when you're done working with. Okay.
What makes you, I don't want to say stop working with an artist, because that kind of sounds like you're falling apart or falling off.
No, it's never. It's never about falling apart.
Yeah.
I think it's just about every client I work with, it's work. So there are guidelines and expectations and TORs that we set.
Yeah.
When we get at a point where we see, okay, fine, we wanted to achieve this. Are we there? Yeah. Do we want to continue? Yeah. Oh, no. And also, I got at a point where, because like I said, I do three things.
Yeah.
It's just me, but there's a proper team that we work with. So doing events, artist management, and media consultancy, all these three combined, they needed to have a detailed TOR in terms of what we do and guidelines and whatnot.
Yeah.
So in that, we take a look at it as a company. that you have like agendas that you want to put through and everything else that you want to achieve. So all those things have to make sense and everything else. And it's all like a professional point of view where we agree and say, okay, I think for what we're looking for, this will work. So with people that we stop working with, I've never had any fallout. None really. It has always been about, okay, we wanted to do this. Have we achieved? Yes. And also because the company was expanding as well from the 2018, because we are consulting now for even big companies and whatnot. We said it also makes sense for us to have like a limited number of people that we work with.
Yeah.
And a lot of these artists like we work with, it's mostly on a consultancy basis.
Okay.
So they come to us and said, hey, we have a project we want to help in this way, and we always make a plan for them than to actually full-time be there and be the background stuff for them. So a lot of these artists, it was based on that whatever we wanted to achieve with them happened, and then the next phase was for them to come in and say, okay, we want this from you guys, and we see what that looks like and the timelines, and then that's how we take it. As
a manager, what's the goal? Let's say you take on an artist. What's your goal? I know you basically have an understanding of what things you want to achieve and whatnot, but like personally as a manager, where do you want to leave an artist?
Well, I think every artist has every artist we get to work with. The first question I always say is about what do you want to achieve, you know? So the artist has to tell me, well, I want ladies, I want money, I want all that. So those are the conversations we start with.
Yeah.
And then from there, we set up what we want to achieve collectively. Because it's not about us, like I said. The artist has to tell us what we want to understand, what they're visioning, what everything. So all those things shape what we want to achieve. So it has never been about, what I want the artist to achieve or what the team wants the artist to achieve. It has always been about what is the common goal that needs to be built from the basis of the artist.
Okay.
The artist wants to achieve what? How do we combine whatever we want to have and build from there? And also the other thing is about, I think it probably jumps out like in my head right now, but sometimes there are things that we do want to achieve that not because we want to compare it to something else, which has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
And sometimes what we fail to understand is that there are certain things that we want to achieve, but we want to achieve them not because we can't, because personally, but because of the situation we're in. It cannot allow you to have that luxury of actually you dreaming that much. But a dream cannot be stopped, but the reality is the reality. Yeah. So you can dream, but also have like, we can be here wanting that we shoot this the whole day as if we have the whole day.
Yeah.
We would want to be talking about these things the whole day, but people need to stream this. So there's a limited space of time you can do this show.
Yeah.
Not because you don't want to talk about anything more, but if I do it 2 hours on YouTube, Malawians to stream, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's not about you limiting your dreams, but it's about being real with your dreams.
I hear
so it's always in that basis about all these conversations that we have and whatnot.
But don't you think as a manager you also need to have certain goals just beyond what your artist dreams?
No, but I think it's unique to different artists. If it's an upcoming artist, then maybe the goals are different to another.
There should be like a general, like
that's
a
what I was about to say.
A certain standard.
Like generally, for us, working background stuff is to see artists grow, is to see the industry grow, is to see how best we can actually create something that we can actually be proud of and say we actually part of that. That's the general goal. And in the specifics now, it is the individual artists that are looking at, okay, this one wants to be the biggest reggae artist, this one wants to be the biggest kwaito, all these other. So that now becomes very specific in those areas because it's easier for us like that. But for us, generally, we're looking at how best we can be part of the industry and build out something that probably we could be one day and say, this is what we contributed to the industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really like what you said about managers being in the background, because we've seen so many instances where the manager is trying to share the light with the artist,
Oh man, you're gonna get me in trouble.
We're not doing names today. We're not doing names. We're not doing names today. Not yet. We're not doing names yet.
Can you tweet it? Can you tweet it later?
Oh, tweet it later.
Oh man,
that's even worse.
Like you are.
But I really appreciate that approach.
Yeah, but for the past 6 years, I've kept this. I don't normally say this to a lot of, like in my public forums or whatever. about this issue to say, well, managers should be in the background and whatever. I understand everyone wants to really show people that they're working. But what I want always to tell people is the fact that that's not the standard we're supposed to set for our profession. Because the management you managing an artist it's supposed to be a profession.
Yeah.
So if you start setting standards that are not for that profession, it is important for us to talk about it and say, let's really be realistic. I'll give an example, the way that now everyone with a computer would actually set up their own studio, you know, and start making beats in their bedroom, and they say they have a studio, whatever they do, you know, everyone with a camera, they wants to be a photographer and whatnot. If the photographers themselves, if the studio producers they know they are professional, they're not taking time to actually say, no guys, we can't be doing this.
Yeah.
We'll never have an industry.
Yeah, we need to understand.
As far as I don't really look at it that like it was always personal. Like people be like, no, he makes it look like he's the only one who is good at this thing, whatever it is. But my point is, as a profession, they expected things that we're supposed to do. It is nothing to do with me. Me being a manager, I'm not the first and I'm not the last. I got this idea of management from whoever created this. You guys are having a show here. There's an expectation. You're supposed to have mics that are supposed to be recorded, you know, live properly. You're not the one to set how this is supposed to work. Someone already did this, you understand? So when we talk about that, artists are supposed to be the main product that we're selling, not the managers, or it's not just about managers. It is, if it's a band, for instance, look at it. If you have an artist like Beyonce or Jay-Z, he has a band. He has photographers, he has fashion design, I mean, whatever, like backroom stuff is probably about 30 or somewhere.
Over there.
But none of us cares about those guys. You know? Who cares about those guys? It's him himself. You understand? So it's about the band. Look at it as a band. A drummer cannot be highlighting being a spotlight like he's the main artist, you know?
Yeah, like the lead singer.
Yeah, like, you know, NBC has the director general, but no one cares about the director general. You care about Joy Natus and everything. If you're going to see the director general every now and then wanting to be on radio, there's a problem. So this is the general feeling that we're supposed to create as well as managers, if we are looking for us to grow. Because you see, me as a manager, to be honest, I have more connections with people that are in the industry than the artist. You understand? So it's easier for me to steal the spotlight from the artist. Then if every now and then it's about me, I'm literally doing a dishonest to the artist. And I'm not creating what I'm supposed to be creating. The artist is supposed to be the bigger picture, the spotlight. That is the main thing. You can be there with a marketing manager for Castell having the drink all the time, making it look like it's about me. Castell has to grow on its own. So our understanding of our profession should not be the standards of us as Malawians. There's already set expectations of what that job entails you to do. You can't be the one to create it that, no, man, I wish we could actually just understand that it has nothing to do with about me. You know, it is everything to do with what is the expectation for the industry. What is the set standard for you as a manager, for you as a photographer, for you as, you know, once you have dancers wanting to overshine the artist, there's a problem. MJ had all these other dancers that were better dancers than him, but they understood the assignment. They knew big, you know, so we need to make sure that big is covered. Here we want to compete the same spotlight, which doesn't make sense. So it's nothing to do with just managers. It's even PR managers, photographers, promoters, like all these other things, you know. We need to understand that properly, what that looks like for us to set this right.
I think like the biggest problem, I think me and him always have this conversation about how most people in the industry are more fans than they are whatever profession they are trying to, you know. How do you, because we see it all the time, especially with people that bring artists in the country, or even just all these managers where they are fans. They are bigger fans of their artists more than their managers or promoters of their fans. How do you balance that? How do you?
Well, to be honest, everything else begins at knowledge. You have to have the information that equips you for whatever you're doing. For you guys, you can't start a show like this if you don't have a knowledge of what that looks like. You need to have a background check in terms of, okay, if I'm going to be like a host for a podcast or whatever it is, you don't need to do it because, oh, I saw Paige doing it. No, I saw how they do it, what it means, how they're going to make sure that every show is different.
Yeah.
All those things will allow you to understand why and how you're supposed to execute whatever you're supposed to do.
Okay.
We don't have to be accidental professions.
Yeah.
You really have to be like invested in it. You know, people that have been there, Joey Natu, for instance, he's been in the industry for over 18 years.
Yeah.
You understand? It's not a surprise that today he has one of the biggest shows.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's debatable or not, but the numbers are there. You can see that, you know, that's something that is there. You're not going to expect that someone who's just started it today thinking, well, I can be cool, then that will happen.
Yeah.
You know, we have people like Tay, people that a lot of people want to say, well, we don't like him, whatever it is. Yeah, that's the problem. You want to like him. No, he's not your friend. He's a musician. That's what he's known for.
Yeah.
Are you a fan or not? You can choose what you understand. So that's the thing that we need to understand. Who are you, really? Why are you doing it? You having a platform to actually do something should not just be the only reason for you to do it. You should do it because it actually supports your dream, your understanding, the knowledge itself. Make yourself equipped, not just the resources like physical, but your mind as well has to be prepared on what you're actually looking for, what you want to do. To be honest, when we bring in artists or whatever it is, you know, they go back and say, hey guys, mafana ja, hey, you know, and that's why they're exploiting us. They're charging us higher prices because we don't know what we're supposed to do to them. We treat them different. We want to give them certain expectations and whatnot because they know we are really, in terms of information gap, very far from them. So we need to equip ourselves. Like people have been telling me, no, artists need managers. That's why they want to be exploited. I said, no. You need to, like the artists themselves, they have to have knowledge. Give them knowledge there so that they understand what is even expected from the manager. Because if I own the only one who has the more knowledge, these guys will be exploited either way. So before we say, no, let's get the managers, let's get, no. Knowledge is important. Let's get at a point where we have that knowledge into them.
Okay.
After that, then we're going to sort out everything. So the concerns you raised about how everything is done or whatever it is, it centers around the knowledge. We have the resources. Money is there. People have money. We've seen it. We're paying a lot of money for these artists to come do these big shows and whatnot. There is money. But where's the knowledge? We need that knowledge. We need that information. Again, in the same context, we have other people that have the knowledge that is not Malawian centered. So they have information from YouTube, Google, whatever it is, from how this guy did that, But the problem is they are not localizing that info. Whether if you have done any school projects, they'll tell you that you get all this information out there, you need to localize it. Okay, that information happened in America. Okay, what does it mean for Malawi? So you have so many things that we need to look at, that information that we know, so much of it that we already know, is it making sense for your industry? Because yes, like I'll give you an honest example. People say no bad publicity is what?
No, bad publicity is not bad publicity.
It's true out there, but not Malawi. You need to localize it in Malawi. If I see that you guys are smoking weed, right, I'm not going to watch your show anymore because I don't like people that smoke weed. It has nothing to do with the product you're giving me. It's about what's behind that. You understand? People will tell you they don't like Tegrin because Ndwama Rama. No, chief. You understand? It is actually bad publicity because Tigrin, you understand? Or you find, how many times have you had conversations about, no, I don't like me between Casper and AK, I like Casper because he's humble. No, chief. He's only his friends who's supposed to say that. You are a fan. Do you like his music? That's what you know him for. You understand? I don't like Ronaldo because Ndwama Rama. No. Do you you know him as a footballer, isn't it? Yes.
Is he good at what he does?
Yes, that's it. So if you say that bad publicity is not bad in Malawi, there's a problem. Out there, yes, you can sell you can make sales for your album because you did whatever, make some bad stuff to happen, whatever, I got arrested, whatever it is. Here, get arrested, people who are to Luga. They were saying, you understand? We have artists that we turn out to Luga because probably they joined politics. They supported one party. And now we don't even want to talk about them but they are good artists. So whatever information we know, we need to take it back to where that is supposed to be used.
Contextualize it.
That's it.
What does the ideal Malawian industry look like for you?
At the moment.
It's in the information stage. Okay. What we're doing now, our friends did in 1970s, 80s.
So basically, we've got like 30 years to.
Yeah, we are. So we're not understanding that we are supposed to be stumbling. We want to jump before we stumble. We need to stumble first. We need to learn first. That's the thing that we're thinking, no, in America, they are doing this. Then if so, we need to do. If you check Twitter, whatever, people always like, no, artists are supposed to do. No. Let's not rush the process.
Yeah.
Because once we do, we have artists that are not going to understand what is supposed to happen. That's why every now and then you have artists that cannot even maintain 3-4 years of relevance.
Yeah.
Because we're jumping it. You understand? There's a reason why it can never be broken by one tweet, because it's been there for 18 years.
Yeah.
So people think that 18 years is nothing. You understand? So the growth that he has taken in that 18 years should never be forgotten.
Yeah.
Should never be underappreciated.
Yeah.
That is what we need as an industry as well. There has to be time that we need to allow ourselves to grow. We are in the information stage where we're like, you can sell music. You can stream music. We're in that answer to they've been doing that for years. They mastered that art. Now they've been doing streaming shows and people are paying. If we were trying to find out, we're selling. In Malawi, we are selling. The artist himself is selling on his WhatsApp number. You understand? Our friends, they release an album today. They release Adele just dropped what? How many streams? In like a day. You understand? So we are in the information gap. Information space. Where we are getting that information, let's not rush it.
Yeah.
That's where we in Nigeria, if you can go and check what they did in the 80s, what the billionaires and millionaires there, they're like, you know what? Guys, let's come together. Let's build the entertainment industry and start putting in money. You understand? The information now is getting in. Now we need, after that, is the money. The resources. No one should lie to you. We need money in the industry. You see, the likes of this guy who does Super Story.
Also the Nigerian.
Yeah, the Nigerian. I'm trying to... Adenunga. That guy in the 80s, he looked like he was losing it because he was taking money and buying equipment, whatever it is. Now he owns what? A lot of shares, even for Mnet products. You understand? When you're talking about Mnet products on, Nigerian films and everything, Tinsel, whatever, all these are the big things that you see on there. But you see that it's not today that has happened. He started in the 80s. Someone had to say, let me get this money, let me put in there. You understand? So we get the information. We need to start doing this. Okay, how do we get there? Everyone wants to buy a minibus. Everyone wants to buy a truck. Who is investing in the entertainment industry? You understand? The whole Malawi, people that can support an international gig are like 3 people. They need to combine equipment actually for you to have like a proper festival. That's sad. You understand? But it's okay. It's a reality that we have. Now, we know, okay, we're supposed to do festivals. Cool. Okay, now we have the information about festivals. Okay, we need equipment. Now we need people to invest in it. It's not like we don't have people that can invest. We have them.
A lot, yeah.
So the info is there. Now let's get them to invest. So from there we're moving as an industry. Even the artists themselves, they understand that for us to do an international feature, it has nothing to do with you being nice to this artist. No, chief, you want a feature, have your budget. Within my minutes, But here we want to ask them, you know what I mean? There's so many things because we don't want to pay. We don't understand that.
There's a lot of things at play. There's a lot of things at play.
There's so many. Once that information is fully in our heads and everything, then we're going to build an industry.
Okay.
As far as it is, we're building a social media industry, which is not making sense to anyone. I love what Matse said. Kashi mukuja. Because you do all these other things, whatever it is, are you really
But are you
money?
eating though?
That's it. Mafana kabwera kunokora makaru yao yalwagale.
Yep.
Sanga wele ndege mafana mena jawa ukubangira video cash is in tumba. So what are we building really? Are we building the social aspect of it or literally the value on the ground? That's it. If you don't post for a month as an artist, are you still going to be relevant?
Tough.
That's it.
Tough.
So what are we building really? So that information, then we get the resources. Once we understand, I say, if we utakauro ni mamili na ntoto anchi, komanga tulime information, chief. Ulibe knowledge, yoguri wewe upangile ngini yorongo soga. Api. This isn't gonna take, boss.
Yeah, facts.
This isn't gonna take.
I know, you said so much, and I have so much to comment on, but okay. Anyway, you've tapped into a couple of things that I would like to actually discuss. You said something about when we were talking about managers. You talked about having a standard, right? Recently, we had these 2 big events, right? And we've seen a lot of events happening in the same dates, around the same times, and like from an attendee's point of view, it's like we don't have the. Are you guys thinking about us as the consumers? Like, how can we afford to do this and do that? Like, but anyway, everybody's trying to get it for themselves, and I understand that. But like, what do you think? I feel like there's a gap there as well, where like with event promoters and like event organizers not coming together, and like just having some sort of calendar, right? Where we know when who's doing what, who's doing this. So that it's not.
Ideally, it's supposed to have like, I don't think promoters are supposed to be friends because they're all business people.
Yeah,
they want to,
sure.
But for me, I think I like what you said, where have like a sort of a calendar. The only difficult part about this year is the fact that there's so many things that won't happen the way that are supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Because I think you can agree with me that a lot of events have been pushed to certain days, and everyone else is like, hey, if I don't do it now,
it's like there's a window.
Yeah.
If you miss it.
So I mean, taking that aside for this year, yes, I agree with you that we need to have like a sort of like a calendar for. It's not just about just promoters, it's even artists. You need to know if Beyonce is releasing an album in September.
There's no reason for me.
There's no reason for you to also, So it's common. It's common courtesy. But again, the standards we're talking about can only be created or make sense if there's a body that actually regulates the standards.
Yeah, true.
So there are no bodies that really.
Isn't Kosoma supposed to be in charge of?
Let's
okay. I mean,
if we go back to, this is my thinking. People worry about Kosoma, Malawi Music Association of Malawi or Union, whatever. Nah, don't.
We shouldn't.
They're not going to help you. You need to own the narrative. You create what works for you. Minibus Association of Malawi, it's drivers, chief. It is not people in suits.
Yeah.
The drivers, trucks as drivers, they are drivers.
Yeah.
They are the ones on the pitch, like on the ground.
True.
So why are we having people that don't know about anything about music running everything for them, and we're listening to them?
Doesn't make sense.
We don't want them to bring a solution.
Who has the narrative then? Same problem we've been having. MPs stay in the towns where they represent. There's no one to give them the real checks. They only come in when there's a campaign time. You hear about Kosoma when there's about to give money, because actually people have been saying, why are you not giving out money?
Yeah.
And they actually take pictures of people taking money, checks and everything, telling people, oh, this guy made 1 million, whatever. No, it's privacy. Why are you telling people how much I'm making actually? Someone should actually sue them for this.
Facts.
Yeah, you need to ask them that. Is that, do you want us to tell people that how much you've made? No. Who goes and says how much you're making? Who's that? It's only artists who are embarrassing them, taking pictures of them with checks and whatever. No.
A whole list of who made the most.
So this is what needs to happen. For me, I think the artists, need to own the narrative. They need to be united as a front. That's why there's no standard. I mean, if you want to get an artist from Nigeria, America, there's a limit of how much. Nigerian artist, $15,000 US. That's the minimum.
Yeah.
Who do you get a good artist?
Yeah.
Here, it depends on the majors a bunch. But my point is, it's not even supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
It's actually sad.
Yeah, it is.
Because we're the same people that say, no, my artist is Samavanga save. No, they have nothing to save, boss.
Yeah.
Because there's not an industry
They're not
for them.
making anything.
You understand? So what they are building is not even anything that they can actually materialize whatever to whatever they can bring up to. So for me, it's the artists themselves, the creatives, they need to own the narrative. There's a booming number of DJs coming up and want to do that. Are they really having something that makes sense for them? You understand? This informal sector has to be formal.
Yeah. That's
what I'm trying to say. You need to bring in the formality in this informal sector. Once we do that, they'll be coming to us. We won't be the ones to go to them. We want to create stuff based on what it done. No, stop those things. If a donor wants something from you, they're not going to get it because you're doing what they're already doing. The donor is helping people. Now you should be giving things for you to actually have an appeal for them to make money for you. Guys, it's tiresome. You as an artist, you are already creating a product. That's your service. If they want to use you, they should come because of that person, not because the fact that we so madenga drama zako za ntumba kukagawa kukuoneka uri wendo wabwino kupanga ma charity event. Have you heard Jay-Z who has got a deal with you and because I'm a my computer when I It's only in Malawi that an artist is supposed to do this extra work for him to get extra activity. We need to create the formality in this informal sector
where we get approached and not do the approaching.
You need to be acknowledged for who you are. Patience Namading has to do extra work for him to be that big. That music kuzisia guy kumayambe guy Facebook live how many you will be tired. That's why it could be because now he has less time to actually focus what he's good at, which is music. So the fact that we're actually overburdening the artists and everything is because the sector is really informal, chief. Really informal to company nayo kandi budget ya CSR sama jo salary ya muntu alisema ndama yake for instance, sorry, I'm going to mention like a company, Airtel for instance, they have a workload ama nina hawa akulipia ndamo then ama kandi budget ya marketing kero kama kandi budget ni ya CSR ukathandiza anthu sama inakuti aticho satu malipiro awa tike ku CSR artist koma apange show ampasa 50 baje ajose po 15,000 akagule makope akapereke kudzaleka kuti aoneke kuti yeocha he's a social impact bring you understand. So once we have that formality in the informal sector, all these other concerns we're talking about, they'll change.
All right, anyway, I just want to go back to the management aspect of things. How involved are you in the creative process of the artists that you manage or the artists that you work with?
Very. As a manager, you have to be part of that process. My responsibility is to carry the product that we're going to build. So if you're going to involve, if look at it as a company aspect, if Castel wants to bring out their new product and they don't involve marketing in that product to talk about what that product will look like, who's going to drink it, it's going to be a terrible job by the marketers. So the marketing department is so linked with the production. So the production and marketing are the most important ones. Sales becomes the last. They'll be like, okay, fine. When you do the product, when you do the marketing, how much are we making? So the sales comes in. For us as managers, we have to be part of the process. We all have responsibilities. So the artist has to bring the product and say, this is what we want to create. Okay, let's start with where we have a project. What do we want to achieve? We get what we want to achieve. We start working on that. But if the managers are not part of that conversation, whatever you want to achieve won't be implemented. Because the artist, abanga recording, abanga whatever is supposed to do, and then it will be in the hands of the manager to promote them and whatnot. What happens if the manager doesn't understand what you're trying to build? So it has to be pre-production, post-production, production itself, but the role of the artist is to give that production out. So the manager should also actually be at the space where they're like, I think for us, you want to do this, I think the right person to do this is this guy. But the creative front of it is the artist. But the product itself is supposed to be a joint conversation between the artist and the production and the marketers. So you can't say, well, in Anima Bezega and Hayagu, no. You are part of the company. Everyone else has their responsibility. So in that regard, you have to be part of the process. You can't run away from it. You have to know what kind of product you want to release before it's being produced, not after it's produced. Because how
do you know you're not hindering the progress of the artist when you're very active in...
That's why the artist has to tell us what they want to achieve, what they want to produce.
Yeah, but it's not going to be all the time where you agree on what the
not
product
really.
is.
No. So that's the interesting part. That's why I said the role of the manager is to, whatever we want to produce should make sense, right? You never tell the artist that, well, don't do that, yet you agree that that's what you want to produce. It starts from before you start working on anything. All of you had to be at a table where you're like, this is what we want to achieve. For us to achieve this, we need to do this. So because it's nothing abrupt, you are already aware what you're supposed to be producing.
Yeah.
So when the artist is going in the production phase, he's aware what he's supposed to produce. So there's no back and forth in terms of what is supposed to come out. It's different if the pre-production meetings are not there.
Yeah.
You don't know what you want to produce. Then artist tango be standing in it. Then you know mukad ni mavuru. There was a conversation, I don't know if you I can't remember the name of it, but J. Cole finished he actually talked about it in one of the songs. I can't remember which. But he finished the album. Was it an album or mixtape? He finished everything, and then he took the mixtape or the collection and went to Jay-Z. And then he played everything. Everyone was like, oh yeah, nice. And then Jay-Z asked him a question and said, where is the song that the media needs to play? Where's the song that girls need to jump to?
Yeah.
And then that's when he went to work with Miguel.
Yeah.
And did another one with Trey Songz.
Yeah.
Can't Get Enough. And they became the songs that sold
The most on the album. Yeah.
Because that's a management conversation.
Yeah.
To say, okay, fine, this is what we want to produce. What do we want to realize from this?
Okay.
The how now comes in that conversation. The artist as a creative, his mind is always open-minded, less than the manager. Because the manager has a distinct measure of whatever they can do.
Yeah.
But the artist is the one to actually say, I want to do a reggae song. Cool. Who do you want it for? Does it make sense with us? Those are things. If those are the questions that you have answered, there's no back and forth. It will be literally, and the growth of the artist is actually initiated by himself because he has actually been honest and said these are the. Also, that conversation is added into the conversation of strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
We're not gonna try to be working on the weaknesses, yet we're supposed to work on the strength.
Yeah.
None of us has been going to the school of Gopusana Wimba and demo weakness how we can grow the strength because time is not on our side.
True.
So once you understand those things, the basics, they won't be back and forth. It's always smooth. But most of the times, if an artist has extended celebrities, boom, nyimbo moja blow, and then they don't know what do we do next. No, you have to have a plan. Make a plan. Oh, I want to do in a year. I want to release 8 songs. How am I going to do that? Okay, six songs in a mixtape, 2 singles. Then you know what you're doing. It won't be a surprise that you're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Also, you're not going to say I'm releasing a mixtape and then nyimbo zimo zingada 9. Basi ndio banga record 9. No, record 20.
Yeah.
Then you choose from there, you make so that and nothing is back and forth. So all these basics are like nothing that detract anyone from progress. It is actually meetings that make these things a bit way better.
Okay.
Awesome. Getting into the festival scene again. You were at given a chance over the last weekend, where would you have been?
Where would I have been? Well, oh man,
who are you more of a fan of?
Okay, surprisingly, I'm not a fan of like a lot of Nigerian music.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm learning about Peru. I've never heard that song. So one of the clients I work with is a very huge fan of this kind of music, and he's always like, "Hey, when I was coming to Lilongwe, they made me listen to Understand." Omale. It's actually a nice song.
Yeah.
I'm a predominant reggae dancer fan. I listen to a lot of Malawian
rap,
music.
Yeah.
So those are the chances you're gonna get in my playlist. So.
Do you listen to my piano?
Well, specific.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the soul ones. Like, there's like a lot of musical. I like Vego.
Like deep house.
Yeah. I like Vego because it puts in a lot of elements of music and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's not like Kungo Bagasha, stuff like that. So yeah, I could have been
home. Okay.
No, I mean, I could have been where there are more Malawian artists performing.
Okay. Anyway, you were at Life Fest, so clearly there were more Malawian artists performing there. And I would have loved to get into like the whole thing because like it was something that personally that I enjoyed a lot. Just seeing, I never expected it. Just the production value. They went the extra mile. Like security, stage, the production,
sound.
Most importantly, the time.
Yeah.
If they said
30 minutes
is going at 6 to 6:30.
Yeah.
You won't find him at 6:31.
Yeah.
He's left the stage, and I think also for me one of the best part was. just seeing, excellence, because most of the people that performed were excellent at what they did. I don't think there was anyone, even those that were performing before people came, they still killed it.
They did.
I think every single person that came out gave it their best. Of course, then, I have my own questions, like Kadimo is such a big song.
Yeah.
How is it on a small stage?
Yeah.
But I've had people explain to me that it's because he wasn't performing with a live band and the main stage was for all live bands.
Okay.
That's what I that's what I think. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Right. But I still feel like maybe his approach on like going on social media or whatever, even before, like when he was talking about the names, like the fonts, the size of the fonts, I think those discussions, like you were saying, making this industry more formal, I think it's better to go straight to the people that have booked you, because those are the people that are paying you. Because if it was me, actually, if it was my show and you came out and said stuff like that, I would have taken him off to this.
No, I mean, I saw that as well, but I think he had a point. And in both the first part of him about the font, I think, to be honest, I think it's an oversight. He really had a point in terms of like where he would be positioned. Placement. He really did. I think it wasn't just him. I think there were a couple guys that we know that that was an oversight. I think it's something that, like I said, if it's a formal industry, there won't be this guessing. I'm very certain that eventually what happens is you do the listing of the artists and the graphic designers are in there. Their delivery is on the graphics, you understand, and how it looks in their eyes, and there are certain oversights that can happen from a point of view of someone who's not into that. So that one, I think, definitely no questions asked. He is really right. In terms, I think, about him performing on the other stage, again, I think if there was a proper conversation in terms of where he's going to be performing, I think those could have been, I mean, I'm sure he can find a band. You understand? It's not a problem. I've seen him perform with a band. I think coming from a font conversation to another stage that he's like, that really made him to be at a space where he's just like, I think you guys are really disrespecting me and all other things, which I think, again, if we formalize our industry, all these other conversations are very formal. There's like a feedback as well afterwards and say, well, we could have done this better, we could have done that better. I think that is very certain. On how he addressed and everything, again, the formal sector, you understand? Once we formalize a lot of these informal activities, all these other conversations won't even be a problem.
True.
And you don't want to be at a space where you're like, no, we want to see how you said it. Not really. Did you have a point? The how of how you said it, we can deal with him on a person or not. But I think if he has a point, let's not dismiss them. Let's also make sure that they fully understand. We actually give them a chance to actually say, we understand what you meant. I think when you talked about the font issue, I think it was corrected earlier on, which is what is supposed to happen. But like I said, all these conversations, and I mean, I don't see, think about it, if there was a platform where you could have as an artist and say, okay, listen, the way you are big, and if you're not bringing a band, you're going to perform on this stage, people would have a choice. And I don't think the stage was for upcoming. Was this?
No, it wasn't.
I mean, you can
say there were big acts.
I mean,
it was actually a big stage.
Nkasa performed on that stage. So you can see it's just about maybe the information was not properly put to the right holders of the information. And it's he had a point, definitely. And no one should dismiss him. He really made a point, and it's just that a learning lesson for both of the people that are involved in there, and growth. Him himself as well. And that's the growth we're looking for.
Awesome. What was your highlight from the festival?
What was my...
Did you even watch the festival?
Maybe 2%.
Okay.
But I think the highlight was all Malawian artists bringing their A game. That I like... You know, because every time that a festival is done, they're always like, people's like, but but I haven't seen as much as I could have thought it could be.
Yeah.
And the fact that a lot of Malawian artists are really trying to be experimenting stuff on stage and being comfortable and doing all these other things. And this is the funny part. I realized one thing, I think we were talking about it before we set up, is that a lot of artists now, they need to understand, they need to start training themselves the gap between them and the fans when they're on stage. I think it's a lot. It has an impact on their performances.
When you're not touching their hands.
Yeah. You wanna. A lot of the artists, they want to be. No, you can't be doing that. So what you did? No, I'm not gonna talk about people kicking. No. But I mean, I know a lot of artists are used to like performing closer to their fans.
Yeah.
Like people should be touching their hands and everything. But this time around, you could see those are like about 2 meter gap, which I think a lot of artists start feeling like they're alone.
Yeah.
But we need to start getting used to these kind of things because it allows the security and everything to work better.
It does.
You don't want a lot of issues like the kicking issue because you're close. You know,
a
fan is a fan. You know,
they
it's
get
gonna
excited.
do,
They'll do something that'll trigger.
And then, you know, the whole festival or show is ruined by one moment you could have avoided, which is just having people away from
security,
you know. So I think, but for me, that was the highlight. Artists brought in the A game.
One thing before we wrap up. There's one thing that I noticed over the weekend where people don't really understand between the difference between a festival and
a concert
or like a show.
Right?
Because we saw this.
Before you even continue, we are in the information phase. So that's why.
Educate the masses.
Yeah, that's why these festivals need to happen.
Yeah, because we saw a lot of that where like people were coming after 6 when clearly the lineup said that performances are starting at like 1.
Yeah, so now that's the standard we need to be looking for. Whether there are people or not, if we said it's going to start at 6, take the pinch, you know, start it. Everyone else who missed the performances, next year they want. They will know that because we have this thing about kwakuti ndikumene zimaenda jonje. Kwakuti sizimaenda jonje. And I understand having a festival in the city, it's something that a lot of people didn't really think that it would really happen.
Yeah.
Because they're like, how do you do a festival at Golf Club?
Yeah.
You know? But, you know, there are so many things that are learning processes from both ends. The audience and the event managers.
Sorry to cut you short, but whoever said that a festival is always supposed to be at the lake?
That's the information phase. The fact that our standard of festival has been at the lake.
Yeah.
So even some other event organizers now they're thinking, I thought that we cannot have a festival in town. Now I think I can have. So now because of that, that's why I'm saying that there have to be deliberate efforts from the audience, the people, everyone, to be actually making progress in the industry. It's not a 1 month show. Yeah. You understand?
Yeah.
Even now, the artists, they look at it and okay, I can also do that.
Yeah.
Once we have those kind of mentalities, you know, I mean, who knew that a teenager can do his own launch?
Yeah.
We need to start doing them.
True.
Once you start doing them, it is easier for people to actually say, it's possible.
Yeah.
You know? So all those standards are trying to set, you know? Right now, one thing I want now is the female artists.
True.
They need to start understanding that we need their music.
Yeah. True.
We don't
more than ever.
We don't want to book them because they are females.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to book them because, you know, Nicki Minaj is not considered for best female artist. Have you noticed? She competes with the best artist of the year, whatever.
Rapper of the year.
Because her brand
is bigger than
is none on the genre.
Yeah.
So we need to do that.
Facts.
Yeah.
Which it was really sad to see just I think it was like 4, very few.
Yeah, because and then there are always concerns about female artists are not invited. No, we don't, like, it's not an offense.
Yeah.
We don't really have enough female artists that are really pushing in a lot of work.
Yeah.
True.
You know, people don't understand this. When I say work in music, I mean you being played on radio.
Yeah.
Mainstream. If I go in your phone, I should find your songs. Those are the things that we're looking for, not your pictures on Instagram, whatever it is. You're not a fashionista.
No, not only. Don't say.
Yes,
we still want the
okay.
photos.
Only. Sorry.
Time for the eyes.
So like my point
balance
is,
the music. You know,
we want that. We don't
The
want
pictures lures in. Now give us, you know.
No, whatever how they're gonna give us
the music lures us in, but then
the content keeps us.
I don't think I'm part of this conversation. I mean, but like I said, it doesn't matter how you're gonna give us the music.
Yeah.
We need your music.
Facts.
Yeah.
Big facts.
we don't need
Big
to be
facts.
getting what would it, because we want to balance the gender now. And then no.
Yeah.
They need to be there for merit purposes.
Okay, we're 30 years late in the game.
No, we're not late.
Okay, fine.
It's our journey. We're not late.
We're not late. How do we? I don't want to say catch up or quicken the process.
We're not. No.
How do we?
Two things you need to remove from that conversation. We don't need to catch up. We don't need to what do you say? The other thing, catching up, and then you said
or quicken the process.
No, we don't need to. We need to trust our process.
Okay.
We need to move.
Sound like an Arsenal fan. Nah, bro.
But let me tell you though, even using the Arsenal fan and Malawian image industry, it is making sense because look at it. Arsenal in the past 3 years they have a trophy. Do you have a trophy?
If in Arsenal, yes.
Yeah, so why are you worried? You have a trophy.
I'm just saying.
You have a trophy. So you do need to trust the process. That it won't make sense because you want to compete. You know, Arsenal guys, they want to compete with the teams that are already modified, like Man City. They have grown a phase. You know, Man City have done what? 11, 12 years of just building that thing.
Yeah.
Arsenal, after Henry's, Vieira's, whatever, they haven't built that.
Yeah.
You know, they only built a stadium, you know. So you need to understand.
Okay.
Yes,
Bye.
but my point is, don't rush the process.
Yeah.
Don't try to make it like we need to catch up. No, we will never catch up. Chief, 30 years. Ngani ndala ineyo. Ulonendiza kuleja ntundwanji. Sinzaipeza zaka zao. Oleta mwalira mawa. Sinzaipeza zaka zao. So I don't need to be like, you know, like I don't need to do that. Why are you doing that?
Okay.
You know, iniwe mkali mbani ndi Jay-Z. Leroy. Mfana mino jayate. Amata kupanga ligi nyumba yake yemwe. Akuzora kupanga release. Iniwe kupanga ligi makoni mwedu sanoka. Mufuna adi mugulise nyimbo ija mpanga ligi just for you to sell your song. So we are way kutari, but we are starting.
Yeah.
Let's move our
Trust
pace.
our process.
Bas,
Trust our process.
that's it.
Big shout out.
Shout out. So much going on.
Yeah.
End of the year. Nice to see you coming in the country next week. Best believe I'll be there.
What do you mean coming? You just say it properly.
I go wait.
Ukuzadani.
Oh, you nice to see I'm going to
Yeah, don't just say it.
Show Yangari. Nice to see you coming to Malawi. Make sure you're there. I'll definitely be there.
Close is coming too. Close is coming too, I think.
There's another festival this weekend.
There's a
Tumaini Festival.
Hangout.
And then there's Hangout Festival.
Yeah. Gwamba's having a show in Zuzu. Bring empty.
No, I wish I would actually go to that.
Yeah. I think we're going to be in Zuzu that weekend, so we'll probably check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So MC is coming.
Yeah, MT is coming.
as well.
STC is coming.
Yeah.
Can someone please bring
NSG.
Pori? NSG, yeah. My Pori sa or
Sorry.
Kabza this one.
Who is an NSG?
It's this rap grime clique from the UK.
Right?
So they're coming to Zambia in December. Then they gave Malawi a shout out because I basically think they're looking for promoters to, you know,
Okay.
book them.
Okay.
Yeah, but they've been building a big fan base in Africa over the past few months.
Cool.
So.
They're what? Nigerians?
Nigerian. British, Nigerian descent.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Cool.
They're really dope. You should check them out.
Yeah, no, definitely. We will.
One thing.
Yes.
We did mention which artists you represent now because obviously we are waiting for them to, you know.
But
how do you think your artist did at Lifefest?
I think
out of 10.
Out of 10, 7.
Okay.
6, 7, somewhere there.
Okay.
But what I loved generally was the fact that they were trying to experiment. I'm always loving anyone who's going to try and experiment.
Okay.
Because as an artist, you need to stop being in a comfort zone.
True.
Like you need to stop like thinking, okay, this is how I perform, or this is how I'm supposed to perform. You need to I love what Faith has been doing, bringing in those
over the years.
So,
it's just been redefining
even nyimbo
the sound.
I'm piano, whatever, reggae, whatever. So that's what I'm looking at because you want to bring something different. You know, if it's a CD, it's gonna go like the way it is. Nyimbo ija kuyambirira kumapeto. Nothing changes. So if you have a band, be flexible enough to actually do things. So it's not gonna be like very appealing every now and then.
It's not gonna be perfect.
Yeah. And also appealing at the same time. But for me, as an artist, I say, you need to be experimenting.
All right.
You need to like inuso bashonga
Take
rabaga.
risks.
Hey, tena kumanga jambulira kubafa. What's this?
This man. This man.
All right. Man.
Shout out. Anything else that's happening? Anything else that's happened? There's a lot of new music. One of the artists that dropped music recently that we didn't get a chance to talk about was Praise Umali, and I love this performance.
Oh yeah, his performance was
on
nice.
the stage. Shout out to Paul Kajala. You're fucking rock star. Hey, in the BA, you're such a rock star. yeah, you're such a rock star.
No, big
bro.
shout out to that band, bro.
That whole
Like,
band.
yeah.
Youngins, doing their thing.
Yeah. Man,
Shout out to
great ass
everybody who
performances
performs
this week, man.
Shout out
This
to
weekend.
Quest. Motto is such a big tune. If the awards are happening, I hope you scoop it.
Cheese Monjuchi.
Cheese Monjucci killed it.
Ah, man.
Cheese
fire.
Monjucci killed it. Yeah.
Eric Paliani.
Yeah.
Say it right. Say it right. No. Eric who?
Palirani.
No. I want you to
Paliani.
like, pull out the letters for his surname. I want you to pronounce it properly. It's not Lilongwe. It's one word.
Paliani.
Eric
Paliani. Eric Paliani.
Parirani.
I said Paliani.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That sounded like a little Lilongwe moment.
Big proud of everybody that was part of the production of the festivals, both here and in Blantyre.
Yeah.
Shout out to Castel also for getting involved in in the
industry.
I think we're gonna talk about more of like the festivals as the next few weeks are progressing because there's a lot that's going on and there's a lot that's also been happening at the festivals.
Shout out to NBS for also coming on board at Live Fest.
Yeah, big shout out.
Love to see more of that happening in the country.
Yeah.
And shout out to everybody. Shout out to Zaluso Arts. The installation was
mad thing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I say, what did you think? Did you take a photo there, David?
I wish.
That installation, these boys keep outdoing themselves.
Oh yeah. I mean, these are also big. They're cute.
We're anything but cute.
No, I'm getting up. I think for me, like we're wrapping up. I think there's just a few things that I want us to always remember is we have so much talent that we don't have to imitate anyone from anywhere. Whatever genre we're trying to do, let's put it in the context of who we want to do it for, which is Malawians. No one owes you attention. You have to create it. Make a plan beyond Made on Monday.
Number one.
Make a plan beyond Made on Monday.
Yeah.
If your song plays on Monday, Tuesday
where you're gonna play. Where you're gonna play.
Wednesday needs to play.
Yeah.
If it's not airing on Monday, that song still needs to play.
Yeah.
And no one owes you anything.
Yeah.
No one at all. So don't be entitled for support, for anything. You gotta build it for your own. So if you want people's attention, do it right.
Alright.
Nah, shout out. Thank you so much for making time to stop by.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is not like gospel truth. This is just for me, what I think, my experience in the industry, and that's it. So we don't really have to agree on everything.
Yeah, so, we actually don't. I actually don't agree with a lot of things you said. I think I think it's not necessary. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you for watching till the end. Shout out to Zonse Live. Shout out to, make sure you do subscribe to the channel so that you get all the notifications when we drop an episode. Do follow us on all socials. That's Zonse Live and Something Radio with the double O. We're also on TikTok and
IG, Facebook. We quit our
Majesty akabadakarusa nyimbo ama basantu zintu nyanjani whatever. Do you guys also do that? Like when you release like an episode, do you give them something so that they can watch?
Our presence.
Our present is a present.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Do you wanna sponsor something? What do you wanna give away?
Let's see. What is there that you can give out?
Merchandise.
Like what?
Merchandise,
like
t-shirts.
Like a Conker t-shirt. Yeah, I can get two.
2 Conker t-shirts.
Hey.
All right, shout out to who?
I don't know whoever.
I think we're gonna run something over the next few weeks,
you guys
and then
gonna make like a plan around it.
Nice. I got a sponsor. Would you look at that?
Big shout out to you guys for watching as well. If you guys have any products or whatever that you wanna,
push, whether it's music,
whether it's music, just hit us
books,
up.
Whatever. Just hit us up and we will help you promote.
It's a wrap.
We can. All right, see you until next time.
In the words of the great Sir Limbani Kalilani, we can't and shit your shit.
Oh man,
that was the best knowledge I heard over the weekend.
The other one is you cannot destroy Tay's career with a tweet.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
Shout out.
Shout out.